Pay attention very carefully. Pay attention very carefully. Listen to what I'm saying, because what we are looking at, and what I'm looking at, and what we should be staring at is not politics. It is the blueprint for a slow motion overthrow of a constitutional republic. And if you think this is theater, if you think this is just exaggeration, listen to the dialogue, because the script is in English. The actors are America's bureaucracy, and the production is funded by American taxpayers who never agreed to bankroll a domestic revolution waged against their own vote. Do you hear what I'm saying? It has all the elements of a coup, a palace coup, a slow coup, a soft coup, a coup d'etat, except nobody bothered to hide it. They recorded themselves. They bragged about it. Before January the 20th, before President Trump could even take office, USAID officials secretly migrated internal government communications off official systems onto encrypted signal chats. Federal workers taking federal salaries to conceal federal work. That is not democracy. That is a mutiny via Wi-Fi. Now, they didn't wait for policy. They didn't wait for the results of an election. They didn't like. No. They pre-organized, pre-arranged resistance. They linked with foreign NGOs. They coordinated with outside actors. They moved in secret with purpose. They did not fear voters. They feared supervision. The Office of Transition Initiatives, OTI, was designed to destabilize foreign governments suspected of autocracy. Now that machinery is being aimed at America, at us, at you, and they were proud of it. These are professional regime specialists boasting that once Trump won, they suddenly found time, networks, and moral justification to topple him from inside his own government. And that isn't oversight. That's sedition. Sedition with business cards. And when the roadmap is clear, they don't march in uniform. They appear as 10,000 separate little nonprofits, climate cells here and gender cells there, and faith-based dialogue groups, union workshops, racial justice subcommittees, mental health hubs, every aspect you can imagine, even juror training projects teaching nullification, how to acquit political allies, even when the defendant is clearly guilty. 10,000 names, one network. They wait. And when the order arrives, they call it coordination. But professionals know the word activation. This is not organic. The thing about this is grassroots. It doesn't grow from the soil. It grows from the treasury, from grants, from university chairs, from foundations obsessed with global governance and allergic to American sovereignty. Johns Hopkins alone has received $25 billion, it is reported, in a decade. You think it's all for medical research? Hell no. They admit the goal is bridging domestic and international democracy transition. What the hell does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. Translation: foreign regime change tactics now practiced at home, here. At what point does that become a crime? At what point does that transition into criminality? They even wrote their playbook. First, move communications off government servers. Second, smear whistleblowers as disinformationists. Third, activate protest networks. Fourth, weaponize DEI to link every conceivable fringe into one massive blob that looks organic but moves like a trained battalion. And then comes, even better, and then comes the closer, lawfare. Quietly surround the legal system, bury investigations, train jurors to nullify verdicts. They don't need to win elections when they can win indictments. Oh, it's beautiful. And they warn us. They warn us constantly about domestic authoritarianism. Sounds good, right? They don't mean Putin. They don't mean Iran. They mean the 45th President of the United States. See, the man elected by voters that they don't trust, the man the founders prepared for with checks and balances, the man they treat like a virus while presenting themselves as the immune system. And the media, the media nod right along. They don't know. They don't really care. They're proxies. They're sock puppets. And not because it's true, but because the bureaucracy happens to serve the narrative. It gets even better. They call this saving democracy. But they're dismantling the right to choose leadership at all. First they say you voted wrong. Then they say you can't vote on this at all. And then they whisper the line used in every authoritarian takeover in history. We had to save the system from the voters. We had to save the system from the voters themselves. They're the ones that are the problem. And the next phase? They told us themselves. They want to build new socio-political economic governance systems. What the hell does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means a phrase that should chill every American alive. That's not reform. That's replacement. A shadow government built under ours using compassionate language to justify censorship, surveillance, intimidation, and controlled dissent. And when they decide there is constitutional danger, the election becomes irrelevant. The administrative state takes the wheel. The three-letter agencies become horsemen, and the definition of democracy becomes whatever scares them the least. But they fear one thing, exposure. Not rage, not slogans, precision, subpoena, retrieval of every signal chat, and encrypted directive. Full audit of every USAID partner organization. Track the contracts. Track the university grants. Track the training manuals. Because once this leaks off X and lands in a courtroom, their language collapses. A judge can't be gaslit. If President Trump returns with a pen and a spine to that which we know, this network can be dismantled. Records can be seized, funding cut, oversight restored. If not, a precedent will be cemented. Because the moment arresting presidents becomes normal, it becomes permanent. And then elections are simply the mask worn by the ruling class to mimic consent. That's what's happening. See, they think they think you'll do nothing. They think you'll argue over slogans while they quietly write the new rule book in encrypted chats. They hope for Republican politeness. They pray for conservative fatigue. And they expect Americans to shrug their shoulders while they harden the machinery of a managed state behind the glass of philanthropy and justice. And they hope that you're going to be too busy worrying about things like, death threats to famous conservative commentators or conservatives who are stepping down or internecine battles between conservative commentators. They want you to keep busy with that. That's a distraction. This is what I've been telling you. But we do not belong to them. This republic is older than their playbook. It's stronger than their network. And it's built on the idea that still exists, by the way, that power answers to the citizen, not the donor. Voters don't need approval to defend their own voice. They only need courage. And history has never cared about the timid. Tyranny does not frighten me. Shouldn't frighten you. Cowardice does. The next 100 days may decide the next 100 years. And the choice is not subtle. We will either surrender to a network of nonprofits or defend our constitutional republic. Because votes mean nothing when the people counting them believe they work for someone higher than the voter. This isn't democracy. This is rule without consent. And that, my friend, is exactly what our founders warned us about. So now it is staring us in the face. What are we going to do about it, my friends? What are we going to do? We're going to arm ourselves with the truth. We're going to pay attention and focus, and we're not going to let them do it to us. You understand this? We are not going to be taken over by these people, period. What saith you? Do me a great favor. Like this video. Subscribe to our channel. Focus this. Retweet this. Send this to other people. And I've got some questions for you to answer. And back as you comment, as you see fit.